Latimer. The Latimer
Oh,
Society.
Latimer Society.
Hello. How are you?
Pronto?
I don't know.
Sí, claro que sí.
1, 2, 2, check, check. Mic check.
Hello. Welcome to the People's Memorial Project, Chelsea. My name is Sita Cochran, and I'm here as the project manager for the People's Memorial Project, Chelsea. And I'm also the community organizer, and I've been one of the people who has come out into the Chelsea city to speak to everyone. So we're going to give you a little overview of what the project is. And we just first of all want to say welcome and thank you to all of the people that have been a part of this since June. We've been here off and on, coming since the middle of June, and have worked with the city of Chelsea, in particular Mimi Rainey, who we have a huge, we want to give a huge thank you to Mimi for all her work and for working with us artists and designers and creatives. Sometimes a little bit of a difficult task. But we have had a really wonderful experience with the people of Chelsea, and just really want to say thank you to everyone who has been a part of nominating people and voting and speaking to us. And I want to hand the mic over to Eduardo Chacon, who has been our partner from the city of Chelsea.
Thank you, Sita. Thank you, everyone. Before we get started, we definitely want to take a moment to thank a few people and organizations that have made this project possible and have been part of the voting process. So, first of all, shout out to our council members, Leo Robinson and Roy Avellaneda. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate it. I'd like to also thank Eniel Lopez and our city manager, Tom Ambrosino. Thank you. We'd also like to thank the Lewis Latimer Society, Chelsea Cable for being here with us today, the Department of Public Works, and we would also like to thank the Department of Justice, who we've also received funding for this project. So again, thank you all. Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí con nosotros. Le acabamos de dar gracias a algunas de las personas que están aquí con nosotros. Y de nuevo les queremos dar gracias y bienvenidos al proyecto de la People's Project of Chelsea.
Thank you, Eduardo. So next I'd like to introduce the rest of our team. There are 4 of us. 3 of them could be here tonight. 1 was not able to make it. But again, my name is Sita Cochran. Project and studio HHH leader is Vanessa Till-Hooper, and she's going to be talking a little bit about the project as a whole, and so you'll have a better picture of how it came to be, and then she will introduce the rest of our team.
All right, thanks everyone. It's so exciting to be here tonight and see the result of all the work that has gone into this so far. And really the process of this project is, for us, what matters most. So all of the weeks and months leading into this, this being this really cool and amazing end result, but really the process is what matters most. And this project is really so much about kind of reclaiming monuments and memorials, not only in Chelsea or Boston, but across the whole country. And this project is about what does that process look like for we as communities to come together and decide what our monuments and memorials going to look like moving forward, because it's really clear that how we've done that in the past doesn't really work. And having a kind of stagnant fixed monument or memorial isn't the path forward. It doesn't ends up forgetting people, or as cultures change, it doesn't represent the new culture. So we're really looking to different ideas and possibilities of what that can look like. And one of the things we love about projection is that it can constantly change. And we're really excited about envisioning art or monuments and memorials, but large-scale artwork that can change and adapt to the current culture and the current thinking. So this is really an experiment of what does that look like, but also a process by which to engage community so that people, just like everyday people on the street, can start to think about what is it like, what do I want? What do I think is the best idea? And really have that those ideas can be owned by the people of a community, that they know that it's their right and their responsibility to get involved and to change the way that we're currently doing it, and that that their voice matters, their opinion matters, and what they think can be represented on a big scale. So we're really excited to see an example of this tonight. I'm really glad for all of you who came to join us. I want to introduce Cedric Douglas, who is the artist mastermind behind this project. He came up with this concept of how to envision this. What does this look like? This great idea of doing it in projection mapping and representing multiple people, and that it doesn't have to be limited to one. So, Cedric Douglas.
Woo! Yeah. Thank you, Nessa. I appreciate it. I want to thank someone that wasn't thanked so far that we haven't thanked yet, is just the everyday people on the street. When me and Teresita went and said, what do you love about Chelsea? And what people inspire you from your community? And we went around for the last 2.5 months and asked people individually. We had different ways of doing that. The first thing we did is take these thought bubbles that you see right in there and ask people what they love about Chelsea. And we just walked up to people and wrote in what they said. The second method we did was this cart. We had salsa music playing on this cart, and we went down the street and asked people what do they love about Chelsea and who inspires them. And the other way we engaged people was this mailbox that was in front of City Hall. So we weren't here every day to engage people. We hope we engaged a lot of people. Not everyone got to vote, but this was another way we can engage people. And we also engage people through Facebook, through Instagram, and through Gmail. So we tried to find as many ways to engage people, because the most important thing, this isn't our project. This is the People's Memorial Project. It's the People's Project. It's you guys, everyone here's project. Because when we went and asked people, some people didn't even know there was a statue here. They had no idea. So wouldn't it be amazing if this process that we're doing is to ask people, you vote for your mayor, your president, your governors, and your political officials. Could you vote for the people that inspire you from the community and celebrate them and let them know that what they did is important, and also that can inspire the next person to do similar things. And that's how we make a strong community. That's very important. That's how we inspire people that are doing positive things instead of inspiring people that are doing negative things. And this is very important. And instead of having a monument that sits here for months that no one even knows is there, what about this? What about this? It's bringing people together. And this is the core of what this is about. It's celebrating everyone. The everyday person matters. Not just someone that's famous. We all matter. We're all important. So this is something that we really wanted to express with this project. And we're so happy for every single person we talked to. Every person. And the people that told other people about this project. So I just want to thank you guys all for being here too tonight. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. Because it shows that you guys care. And this means something to you. Thank you guys.
I will take just a few minutes to talk about each of the people that are represented here. So the nomination process meant that we had lists of names of people. Sometimes the same people's names came up over and over and over again. And the person who got the most votes was Gladys Vega, who with the people that Gladys is someone who means a lot to this community and who has done enormous amounts of good and for this community and for the people around. Here she is. She was voted like about 20 times by different people all around the city. In fact, the first day in July that I stepped foot on the street, the very first name was Gladys's name, and they didn't, actually the person who nominated her didn't even know her name. They said, la mujer de la colaborativa. So I was like, oh, that's awesome, you know? And so the first four names were Gladys's name, and it was very clear the difference and the impact that she's made in this city. So we actually have a list, for those of you that are curious, we had so many names. Some came up a lot, some just a few times, but we actually have a list so you're able to see who all the names are that were nominated, every single name. But we also had lots of people talk about the food culture here in Chelsea, that there are so many amazing Latin-based restaurants, and the food is phenomenal. Across the street is one of the places that was nominated as one of the best restaurants. So we had, as you just saw, Denise Chino represents all of the restaurant workers and the food culture here in Chelsea. Her family owns several restaurants in town, and she is someone who grew up with the food culture and has had every job in restaurants. So we really wanted to show her as a representative of all of the food establishments and restaurants here, and literally every single thought bubble we had, someone talked about how amazing the food here is in Chelsea. So we were very excited to hear that and to try a few places ourselves when we were here. So the next person that was high on the list was Latimer, and he is someone from a long time ago, from 1848 to 1928. He was alive, and he grew up here, and his contributions to the American culture are innumerable. I mean, he is actually said by many to have been the person, not Edison, not Thomas Edison, but Louis Latimer, who's from Chelsea, created the light bulb. That is the rumor. But because he was an African American, he didn't always get the credit. But he was instrumental in both the patent for the light bulb and the telephone, two things that we would not be able to do this kind of stuff without his contributions to society. He is a Chelsea native. And the next person, yes, you. And another person who's been really instrumental in the city of Chelsea is Chief Kais. The police department, I was actually really surprised, pleasantly surprised at how many times Chief Kais and the police department were nominated by people on the street. We came here on September 11th for the Salsa Night, and there were several police officers from the Chelsea Police Department here handing out popsicles, making sure everybody was having, a good time and being safe, and making the police department has clearly made an enormous contribution to the city. And Chief Kais has been the chief of police here for many years, since 2007, and has really made it a point of having the people be a part of the process of the city, and he values respect and trust, and really wants the police department to be a department that can be trusted in. And it's a partnership. He considers the police department a partner of the city of Chelsea. So Chief Kais, representing all the police officers that were nominated, is the next person that we had. And the last person that was a very high go-getter was John the Quiet Man Ruiz, who is a famous former professional boxer. There's actually a park here that was dedicated in 2014 to him. He is a very decorated heavyweight boxer, and I understand that there are several people who know him that are still here and who went to high school with him, and so his contributions are still being felt around, and he's someone who who represents Chelsea, and actually has said that his heart is here in Chelsea. So those are the 5 people that really rose to the top and represent your city. And Eduardo, if you'd be willing to say all of that in Spanish, or just distill it down for the people who are Spanish speakers.
I'll do my best. All right, awesome, thank you. Bueno, hubo un proceso para que la gente podía votar de personas que representan nuestra ciudad, y hubo cantidad de gente, organizaciones, restaurantes locales que fueron nominados, y los que están proyectados aquí son los que ganaron los más votos. Y la primera persona fue, que ya la conocen, es la señora Gladys Vega, la y obvio toda la comunidad aquí, todo el pueblo la conoce muy bien. Y la segunda persona que recibió los más votos fue la señorita Denise Chino, que es la hija de Don Latimer de El Salvador, México. Ella representa no solo a su familia, que creció aquí también en Chelsea, pero a todos los restaurantes y a la cultura de comida que hay aquí en Chelsea. Nosotros sabemos que la comida es muy importante para nosotros, y aquí hay una variedad de eso de Puerto Rico, de México, de Salvador. Aquí se encuentra en Chelsea. So, Denise Chino representa a toda esa cultura. La tercera persona que recibió más votos fue Latimer, que fue una persona que nació aquí en Chelsea hace muchos años. Fue una persona muy inteligente. Les recomiendo que lean sobre este hombre, porque es una persona muy interesante. Él no solo era un inventor, pero él pudo ayudar y mejorar al foco, a la luz, a la electricidad. Se le debe mucho honor a él de lo que ha podido traer a la humanidad entera. La cuarta persona fue al señor Chief Keys, quien representa el departamento de policía. Hubo muchos votos para el departamento de policía. Se mira definitivamente que aquí en nuestra comunidad hay una buena relación con el departamento, y algo que Chief Keys ha trabajado por muchos años para mejorar. Él es de aquí de Chelsea, conoce a Chelsea, es una persona que definitivamente merece el honor. Y la última persona es John Reese, que yo pequeño, más bien yo me recuerdo, él estaba entrenando, y me recuerdo verlo correr a él, y yo con otros niños corríamos detrás de él, viéndolo para crecer a la persona que él fue. Él fue el primer latino a recibir el honor del heavyweight champion de todo el mundo. Y si lo miran boxear, es un gran hombre. Otra persona que definitivamente representa a nuestra comunidad. Le damos gracias, y ahora a quién se lo doy cita.
So the next part of this little bit is, does anyone have any questions about the process or about any of the people that were nominated? If you do, feel free to ask us. We're around the people who have the shirts that say the People's Memorial Project Chelsea, or the 4 of us are the ones who are basically. And if anyone has any questions now, you're welcome to ask. Mike, or
Raise your hand if you have a question. You did a lot of work. Come on, some questions.
Did you have a hand up in the back?
How did you get that on the phone? Come on, it's questions.
So
There we go, we got one,
actually,
we got one, we got one.
Okay.
So my first, is it a hologram? What is it? Is it a hologram? Or is it, how did you do this thing? I have no idea.
So that's a very good question. So this is actually a video projection. And so what we've done is, what you're looking at here, we built this base to sit atop where the Christopher Columbus statue once was. There was a statue here that was removed, and we built the base for this piece of it's actually styrofoam that was reclaimed. It was used for another project, and we were able to take it and reuse it. for this purpose. And about a year and a half ago, Cedric, when statues around the city were being forcibly removed, had this idea and contacted Vanessa and Jeff Grants, another person on our team, and myself, and we started talking about what could be possible in place of those statues. So Cedric has done projects in the past around having a democratic process of asking people who matters and what's important. And so through that process, we created a statue form that we would then project the nominees of who everyone in the communities thought should be honored and go on places where statues were being removed. So this is actually a box that we created. This is styrofoam, so it's easy to move. It's not granite, so it makes it a little bit easier. And what we've done is created, if you see on the computer here, the screen shows you that we use a program called Mapper, and what it does is feed to this video projector, and it then shines onto this. So it's not actually a hologram, it's a flat surface, and we're projecting the images onto that surface, and we've mapped the images so that they fit within the framework of that form. So, and then we were able to just project the text as a separate thing that can change in English and Spanish. So, good question.
We're going to have a little bit more questions later, but one thing that's part of this project is getting some local talent here. And we have Max Pro. Are you guys familiar with Max Pro? He's a local visual artist, and he's doing some great stuff in the community. And also, he's a poet, and he's going to do a piece for you guys. Max Pro, here you go.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right, man.
Latimer's have been here. Society.
All right.
I just want to thank the Memorial Project for doing this. It's always good to see people from the community get together and for positive things, you know. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people don't know me. I'm just a regular guy from Chelsea. I was born out here on Chestnut Street in the apartment. I always like to start things off by, if it wasn't for my grandfather who came here from Cuba in the 1970s with the revolution, stood at St. Rose. He came here with whatever little bit he had and made a name for himself. And everybody always said he was a good guy, so I always looked up to him. And I know he's down. I know he's up there watching down on us. He came here from Cuba. He ended up buying all this property out here when it was dirt cheap. When you could buy a three-family apartment building for like $2,500, like $8,000, you know. Maybe those are the good old days. I don't know. You're not gonna find that anywhere. Maybe like Ohio. Who wants to live in Ohio, right? When this is where it's at, right?
Yeah.
So I've been here a long time, and I know a lot of y'all like can't be that long. And I say I am a lot older than I look. So I remember a lot of things being different, a lot of change in the city. I remember when the courthouse wasn't there. I remember when a lot of buildings weren't here and there was just dirt roads. And with all this change happening, it's good. I see a lot of good change, and especially with this behind me, I like this a lot better than what was there before. You need to stop idolizing that kind of stuff, man. People need to know the truth, you know? So, yeah, they asked me to come say something. They want a local artist, and I'm happy to be here. So, I just wanted to start off one of my poems. But before I do that, I do dabble in a little bit of everything. We make music, we do poetry, we do murals, paint, all that stuff. And not only that, but like do my best to radiate positive energy, man, because that's exactly what we need. You know? Thank you for that. Ludic? Yes. We don't want that. Let us spread. So with that, I say, why is humanity afraid of change? And why you can't register the pleasure till you feel the pain? The same reason you want riches and fame. Because you don't appreciate the gifts that you already contain. Now why is hell represented by the circle of flames? Use your brain, realize that there's nothing to claim. Except happiness and fashionless will narrow the way. This basket, back masochist, I can carry the weight. Not do the things. And a lot of the things I write, or I just like, nowadays I catch myself, I don't even write anymore. I just gather these thoughts, man, and I memorize them. And it's all organic for me, it's all pure. And so with that, I just gotta let people know that it's not about you and I, it's about battling with who's inside. Born into a world where we're forced to pursue a lie. In order to survive, I'm supposed to lose my pride? Crucified for not wanting a newer ride? That drives me to the edge. Because honestly, sometimes I'm content with just making the rank, because some people live on a bench. A soul on fire, and the fact that we're a match ignited me. But in this dimension, I'm stressing knowing planet Earth isn't right for me. And then I do the thing inside. Does anybody have any questions or any topics they want me to touch on? Anybody want to let me know what's going on in their mind? Because honestly, I do care. For the people who do know me, you know, I know some of you that don't have your numbers though, but the ones I do, I'm that friend that'll text you and just say, hey, how are you? And they know that. Because I always like to check on people just to see how they're doing. Because we're all humans, man, and we have good days, we have bad days, right? Can you agree with that?
Yes.
Right. And you know, I think the more you got?
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So my friend here, she brought up the fact that like my logo. So this right here on my shirt, it's a design that was created by my girl Amanda. And one day I was going through a stencil box, and I was like, "Yo, this symbol means something." So I put a purpose to it. So this is like our first baby. You know what I mean? And so what this symbol represents is mental health and suicide awareness, because you know this is important stuff, and a lot of people don't like to touch on it. You know, and a lot of people need to know that they're not alone. So with the symbol, like with a symbol, people will be triggered, man, and they'll know that people are aware and people care. And people ask me, why is Bad Idea? That's the name of the brand, Bad Idea, by the way. Why is it focusing on mental health and suicide awareness? And it's personal. A lot of people struggle, man. Not everything is easy. A lot of people look down and say, I don't know why people would do that. And you gotta remember, man, if somebody's gonna do something like that, it's not that they want to. It's that it's something that's just unexplainable, man. They're not in control of it, And so I think the best way to prevent this kind of stuff from happening is letting people know, like, yo, you're not alone. Come talk to somebody. And I know for a fact that talking to somebody that you can trust and there's not judgment, things will get better. I know that my life increased dramatically for the best by surrounding myself with people who actually care, people who actually want to do something with their life, people who actually want to go somewhere, people who understand. And, you build relationships with these people, man, and you progress in life. And it's not easy because a lot of people are just fake AF, right? Keep it clean. So when you do find somebody, who's already on that path to making their life better, they're going to introduce you to other people who are doing that. And now you're not going to be alone. And so with that, nobody's perfect. Every day is a struggle. We have our good days, we have our bad. And when you do have a bad day, you can hit me up. And when you're having a good day, you can hit me up. Because we're here, man. Right? Thank you. So with the trauma of like everyday life, man, You know, like a lot of the stuff that I have up in here with my poetry and my rhymes is dark, man. You know, so I just want to let you know one of the things is just like years after uncontrollable tears, I still hear helpless cries of bottom and back in the rear of my mother's loving head, and they won't disappear. These voices need a pipe down. I fall asleep in my gear. I'm over here, but I'm back over there. I time travel in my mind, smoke, lose control with a prayer. Smack my chest, Ric Flair. Woo! Smack my chest, Ric Flair. Woo! Now I'm sitting here in this distant chair, getting high with my vision impaired. You've been mad busy, God, and I haven't had a visit in years. So when you're ready, man, I ain't going nowhere. I know they're short, so you don't really know what it's like. Is it time to snap? I don't know how much time I have up there, so there's no big hooks to pull me off stage. So. He's standing here. I'm thinking he's gonna tell me to get out of here. Does anybody else have any other questions or things you want me to touch on? So I know somebody called me the other day and they told me that they were doing this and they wanted me to touch on something about injustice, right? And I'm thinking about, there's all kinds of injustice. So I'm gonna tell you something like what happened to me, but I never like process this or put it in poem format in my mind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna freestyle it right now. About a situation that I went through that I feel like is injustice that still goes on till to this day. And it's like I remember I was sitting in my car in my passenger seat for some reason, and I say, "Don't open my car door, officer. Don't pull me out of my car. Don't slam me against my hood. Don't cuff me without telling me what the hell's going on. Don't choke me from behind. And when I turn around and clothesline me, don't arrest me. Put me in a cell without telling me what I'm being arrested for. Don't give me fake charges. And don't put me in the system. And then have me coming back, paying monthly court fees to be on probation. Don't do that to me. Don't have me in the system. Don't justify your negativity and your actions here because you're going through something bad." And if you could hear my voice too, like that shit's still traumatizing. And there's people who've been through it worse, you know, who got it worse, man. And with that, like I'm just saying, not everybody's a bad person. Just like any neighborhood, just like any city, any state, you got your people who want to do something good and people who don't. So with the trauma I've been through, I'm just happy that I could be up here sharing it and expressing myself. I want to thank Mimi. I want to thank everybody in the city who's here tonight. And just remember, keep hope alive, keep faith alive, man. And do your best to be positive. Because it's easy to start thinking about bad things, man, and being bad. What we need is more good. What we need is more love, man. Some people need hugs. And that's facts, man. So with that, I just want to tell everybody, thank you for being here. Please have a good night, have a good week, have a good life. All right.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your words. Anybody have any more questions about the process and about the project, about what Max just said, or anything? One more person over here. Yes.
Hi everyone, Naomi Zabit. I'm City Councilor and resident of Chelsea, of course. And I would just love to say that this is a really, really beautiful thing that you've done. And I wish that it could stay longer so that more people could see it as they pass through the square, and that maybe that's a possibility that somehow we could make that happen. And this has just really been a beautiful, beautiful event, and thank you so much for doing it.
So for those of you who didn't hear before, just one more thing that we have here, as you see on your right, this was the ballot box that was at City Hall Plaza, and so this is what one way people were able to vote. We also went around and asked people on the street, and I have lists of all the names that we received. So if you want to see the first set of names here above the break, shows every name that had multiple nominations, and then the remainder of the list are all the names that were given to us in alphabetical order. So if you want to have a look through this, they're on the card here. And I know that we have some celebrity guests in the audience that might have been on the actual statue. So if any of the people, Gladys, I saw you earlier, and Chief Kais, if you're still here, you're welcome to say hello if you'd like, or stand up here and be honored next to your statue. Is Gladys still here? Yes. Could you, if you're willing to, would you please come up?
Or someone can speak on her behalf. Someone can speak on behalf and big her up too.
I'm sorry, I was just with my grandson. Muchísimas gracias a todos. De verdad que este homenaje no es para mí, es para toda la gente que durante la pandemia sufrió tanto y continúa sufriendo. Hoy celebramos una noche de gente linda en la comunidad de Chelsea, de gente que tiene una resistencia, que puede luchar con cualquier barrera y podemos sobrevivir una pandemia para prosperar en nuestra comunidad. So this tribute is not for me, it's for my community, for every individual that almost lost their life during the pandemic, that they went through the struggles, that at nighttime they didn't know what they were going to have the next day as a meal. We worked very hard to enhance the quality of life of every individual that was suffering, but I didn't do it on my own. I did it with many of the people that are standing right here, with many people taking, risking lives. I remember vividly my family, my daughter, every time I would walk in the house after we volunteer, putting boxes in everyone's porches, and my niece, Tanairi, both of them, you know, we would go home and spray Lysol over us in order for us to enter the house, because I had a son that was also a little bit ill. So I celebrate this moment to everyone that was in the 311 team that made Chelsea a better place, y celebremos hoy a Chelsea. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you so much. What an honor for us to meet you. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Is Chief Kai still here?
Chief,
Is he here?
calling.
I can't see with the light.
He was hiding. He was hiding.
He's hiding. Chief Kai! We welcome you up. You can say a few words if you'd like.
Go. Your turn.
Hello, everyone. I just said to Gladys, I gotta follow you. No, I just, on behalf of the men and women of the Chelsea Police Department, this is certainly truly an honor, just to be, recognized by the residents that we serve, the stakeholders that we serve. It really, really, really means a lot. We do our best. We'll continue to do our best. We'll continue to try to get better in what we do. We'll continue to reach out to each and every one of you and just partner and try to make this community as best as it can possibly be. I'm flattered. I'm honored. I'm one person, but I'm one of 111. I'm one of another, 15 civilians that we have working on our department as well. So I'm just honored, and thank you very much for doing this. It really, really, truly means a lot. So thank you.
Leo Robinson, would you be willing to speak on behalf of the Latimer Society?
Thank you very much.
Leo Robinson.
First, I want to thank the group for bringing us here to Chelsea. I think it's a wonderful thing. I want to congratulate everybody who was up here. I think the fact that Louis Latimer came from Chelsea, the fact of the matter is, being an African American, he didn't get credit for a lot of the things that he did in life. The main thing is, in regards to the light bulb, he developed a filament and light bulb to make it affordable for all of us. He also did the drawings and helped write the patent of Alexander Graham Bell for the telephone. And I'm I'm sure everybody here got a telephone, iPhone, or whatever in your pocket. So he did a lot of contributions, and actually, I do a lot of workshops like with younger kids. And one of the things that I always say at the end is that Latimer wrote the first book on incandescent lighting. It was about Edison's system. And I say, whose system really was it? All right. Just briefly. Yeah. Yes.
In the photographs, the next one. In the next photograph, you'll see the book actually in his hand.
And just briefly, I want to touch on John West. John West, at 5 years old, was running marathons. And his stepfather used to ride the bike, knowing that his stepson was going to become heavyweight champion. And actually, John just missed out on the Olympics. He got and about 30 busloads of Chelsea people went out to Worcester to support John during that time. And actually, when John fought Evander Holyfield 3 times for the heavyweight championship of the world, and when John won, the chief, along with myself and a group of people, went to Logan Airport to give him an escort back to Chelsea. And it probably was about 500 cars that followed us in the airport. We came back to Chelsea, and it's probably the largest crowd in the city of Chelsea. There was 10,000 people outside of City Hall to welcome him back to Chelsea. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful. Cedric, would you like to take any more questions?
Yes. I heard that the young person that was helped get the statue removed here, Brandon. Is Brandon in the house? Brandon, would you like to say some words? You don't have to.
Hi everybody. If I'm out of breath, it's just because I came all the way from Waltham, Massachusetts. I am currently attending Brandeis University, but I came back here for this very special night. I just wanted to say I'm so. Oh, I am Ray Garcia. I've been a resident of Chelsea for my whole life, and I was recently just the secretary for the Chelsea Youth Commission. I'm currently too old for that. Just turned 19. So I essentially kind of helped lead the initiative to tear down the Columbus statue, as I feel like a colonizer figure does not deserve space within our community. After we are such a strong community that has survived colonialism, we do not need that in our community anymore. We ourselves are our new generation of heroes. And so this project is really highlighting everybody in our community who has worked so hard and tried so hard to build ourselves up from the ground. Because Christopher Columbus did nothing for us. We did everything for us. We are such a strong community, and we will always be here. In the future, in the past, in the present, whatever it is, Chelsea's impact is so strong. And I generally believe we are the very basis of Massachusetts. We do everything for this state. Everything. And do we get a lot more representation? No. But you know what? That doesn't matter because we have ourselves. We don't do anything else for others. We do it for ourselves because we are a city that is a family and we're in this together. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. We appreciate you. And he's going to Brandeis University. It's another testament how amazing the people are in Chelsea and what they're going to achieve. And looking forward to seeing what he's going to achieve in the future. I wanted to ask Mimi and Alvarado if they wanted to say some words before we close off. Yes. 1 second.
I did not expect any of this and that I'd be talking. This feels really weird. But I feel like it's my responsibility to, hi, I'm Darlene DeVita. I am a resident of Chelsea. So I've been here since 2004 and I love Chelsea when I moved here, but I think this project is so cool and I remember watching you guys go around and just asking people randomly, for nominations, and I thought that was so cool because I've been out here photographing the people of Chelsea, and and I don't know if I photographed Gladys a million times for other reasons, but I don't think I photographed anybody on these monuments, and it makes me realize this town is so amazing. I've always been intrigued and inspired and so impressed, especially during COVID. Wow, I really realized how resilient this city is, and this is just such a cool thing. I think cool things are happening for Chelsea. We're finally getting the recognition, so this is really great. I hope that I'm trying to get my project out there to show how great Chelsea is and the history that makes up the city. And I photograph young people, older people. I get everybody's story. I wish I could photograph everybody. I can't. But I just kudos to you for doing it. I just think it's so cool, and I think it's thank you for bringing this to Chelsea. It's huge, and I feel like things are really happening here now that need to be happening. And everyone you nominated, I think it's absolutely wonderful. And I did work with the collaborative during COVID, and they're my family now. And
Yes!
really, that's all. I just feel like I had to say something.
Thank you. And if anybody wants to get a photo, you should talk to her while she's here. Does anyone else want to say something? Mimi or Elrado, do you guys want to say something about the project?
So I'm Mimi Graney. I work for the City of Chelsea, and part of the role that I have here is about using public space as a way of bringing the community together. That public space is really public, and it's for my intention, and I think the whole purpose of it is for us to share it and to be co-creators in it. And part of my goal with this project and with all the public art we're doing here is to hold up a mirror to the community so that you can see yourselves. And I love what Brandon said about being the heroes of today. And everything that Chelsea needs is already existing here. And I feel like over the last 18 months or so from the pandemic, Chelsea's starting to feel and experience the power of the people that are here. So thank you all for being here and being your great selves.
All right, we got one. We're going to end it off. If anybody has anything to say, speak now, forever hold your peace. Hands up, no? All right, so we're going to end it off with one more poet. This is D. Ruff. He was one of the poets that worked with us when we first did the People's Memorial Project in Boston, and he's going to close off the night. Thank you, guys.
Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. Give it up for Cedric for putting this all together. Him and the team. Oh, I'm sorry for not knowing everybody by name, but you guys are amazing for putting on these projects. Because I know I myself, one, as a spoken word artist, it was just in school when I started doing this. So I didn't see myself being able to be doing this in front of like groups of people still. So I know the people that you are putting on these monuments didn't expect to be on a monument. So I can only imagine how that feels, and to know how much inspiration that you got and motivation that you're putting into the cities as well by doing this. So thank you guys for putting on these projects. Thank you everyone for coming out today. So we're not gonna keep up everybody because I know it's a little chilly now. It's fall. It's not summer anymore. So I'm gonna do this really quick. So just because I'm used to a couple of things though. So I'm used to an active listening community. And if you don't know what that is, if you've been to or have seen a Black Baptist church, if you've seen when the pastor goes up to preach to the congregation gives little feedback like, hallelujah, thank you, amen. You might get a stomping and clapping, hear a little tambourine, right? You don't have to give me those same exact phrases, but give me that same exact energy. Don't worry, you won't mess me up, all right? In between my pieces,
I'm going to do a call and response. Whenever I say, if you can feel it, I want you guys to reply back. You can speak it and say it like you mean it. All right? Okay?
Okay.
All right. We're gonna test this out, all right? If you can feel it.
You can speak it.
Okay. That was 5 of us. And I know there's more, but we'll work on it, all right? If you can feel it.
You can speak it.
I don't need to go to Iraq. Because they're a war of my own. Watching a new dream here be shattered with the chrome, because going on is all of this stuff that we can't condone, but it's bad when you're with the crew, because there's a Judas in every home. But how are we gonna stop visuals from getting the intellectuals who think we're a bunch of animals because of some individuals? But this is critical. People aren't wanting to hear any of the spirituals because they're not loving our women when they could be loving these materials. See, in this place, I don't feel safe. Gold chains around my neck and wrist. I'm the new American slave, with rivals amongst my group and with others. But how are we enemies and we supposed to be brothers? And how are we hitting our women and we're supposed to be lovers? I guess we stoop down to disgracing our mothers. See, before this, our ancestors were being whipped on their back. Even though that wasn't us, we just still feel that rage from that leather on our back. We just still feel the pain because the scars are not done. We're like Kunta in our own ways, trying to run for freedom, but there is none. Everywhere we go, there's dead ends and roadblocks. Certain people going through walls when they're Milwaukee and buckshots. They're quick to catch Kobe, but not the murderers of Biggie and Pac. See, by this I can kind of find out who's in and who's not. And these same people want me to follow in their path because of my light skin. But I can't follow in their path because of my past. Under my eyes there were bags when my brothers wore rags, and some of them still get mad because we're glad. Then they wonder why we get stuck in the system, live and die by a system, get screwed by the system. So it's saying, F your system. I've already been handed a hood death sentence. I don't need to be told what your judge and jury in my present seat. Sometimes I don't want to be me. Yet I get Asian people, Spanish people, even some white people that want to be me. But is there something that they see that I'm just blind to? Or is it because they're getting tired of being viewed? See, you want to get mad when I call most authorities thieves, but don't forget they stole me in this land you called free. So let's get this straight. This isn't the land of the free. This is the land of the legal criminals. But I can't leave, but I can't breathe in the truth when I inhale lies. People don't see this, so they swarm to this rotting country like flies. I don't really like them taking what's mine, but is that the capitalist in me or part of me that needs to die? I can't decide. But I need to stop complaining about me because there are immigrants that want to be where I be. If you can feel it,
You can speak it.
all right. So this is the last poem. It's more uplifting than the last one. So I've been co-hosting an open mic back in Boston for close to 12 years now. Next month will be our, not next month, see, because next month's October. You know, in November, we'll be celebrating our 12th year anniversary of just continuously keeping going. We're doing it virtually, and it's called the If You Can Feel It, You Can Speak It open mic. So if you ever want to look for me and like search for me, D.RUF as in Frank, F as in Frank, and you'll find me almost everywhere except for, no, pretty much everywhere. So wherever you can, just look me up, and you'll most likely see the moniker and the banner right there with me, because I live and breathe it. Because most times I do feel as though if you feel something, you should be able to speak it, as probably a majority of the folks that are on this monument have. So, one more time for this poem. If you can feel it,
You can speak it.
from the depths, that rock bottom repetitive cycle that tomorrow has you looking forward to. So we just add vocabulary to our frustrations in blue lines and black curses, showing the blues and white lines, saying we are more than your black curse, sir. Grabbing our titles of being blessings wrapped in space with a universe for a mind and forming life like a planet's atmosphere. Because if you can feel it,
You can speak it.
For the time that you felt human in a society that wanted you to be super. Chant how the system isn't a ball and chain, how your sex won't be held as a restraint, how religion may rebuke your shortcomings, so we just embrace the lessons that came in its place. Let this stage be your claim, voice your pain on their graves. Let us congregate around your testimony as you reenact the scriptures of your pain, because if you can feel it,
You can speak it!
because the quietest mouth has the loudest thoughts, transferring thunderbolts through ink to write brainstorms, letting that typhoon of fears affect your peers, because we all know what that stuff feels like. When I hate you, I hope you rock. Does it really satisfy revenge? And that wishful thinking doesn't inspire karma coming, when that heartbreaker had the nerve to break your heart and sorrowful words weren't poetic enough to capture your emotions, sorrowful spirit like pin-toting Ghostbusters. So when we say it, we mean it. And the audience will have no choice but to respect our team of radical expressions, forced to be spoken. So master and architect your talents, building blocks, adjust your swag by turning your lungs to amplifiers, bringing that extra, so they can read all about the seduction off the tips of Cupids and seduce those guilty pleasures that lay dormant and ignored. Bring them to life. Be that life. Summon the flaring wings of your phoenix and be fly with all your might. But anchor you. Hold yourself down humbly, because this is your existence, but don't just exist. Dance. Ace all the challenges and welcome in those new bees, because we're all wild cards shuffling to be here, to be loved, to be heard, to be remembered here. Because if you can feel it,
You can speak it!
and we mean that. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. You guys have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, everybody. And if you have any further questions, talk to us. We're going to be here. Thank you so much. We appreciate every single last one of you. Thank you. Enough blessings.